But I'm gonna spoil the movie.
Yeah. Don't record that.
Oh, man.
So don't spoil it.
Yeah, we won't
Is
spoil.
that for our To Be Tuesdays?
If once you watch it,
It
yes,
it definitely qualifies.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. This is it had. You saw When the Bow Breaks, Jason.
Yeah.
It had it's
Oh, you
similar,
did see that. Okay.
very similar to When the Bow Breaks. Very, 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 very similar.
Okay.
Of the crazy girl, it's just a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah, yeah. Like I heard it all leads to Fatal Attraction. Like Fatal Attraction, when that movie came out, it just kind of spawned all
Fatal
these.
Attraction, yeah, it changed the game.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
spawned
it
all. And
did.
I've never seen Fatal Attraction.
Ever?
Yeah, I
No,
seen Fatal Attraction. I'm surprised you
me
haven't
too.
seen
Never
I
Fatal
know.
seen
I've never
Attraction.
seen
Fatal
it.
Attraction.
So the weird thing about Fatal Attraction was a long time ago, when it was in the theaters, our parents went and watched it, and I had the choice to either watch Fatal Attraction or Friday the 13th Part 7 with Yvette,
Yeah.
and I chose Friday the 13th Part 7
I
with
mean, I would
Yvette.
have chose Friday 13th too because I'm not trying to watch Fatal Attraction with my parents,
Well, I was a little kid at the time, so I didn't know.
especially not as a little kid. I know, like, no.
Maybe I
Oh
should go
goodness.
back and watch Fatal Attraction. But is it good though? Like
There's
it's
nothing
a
more
classic.
uncomfortable than
I mean,
a graphic sex scene going
there's a
on, and
there's
your
a graphic
parents
sex
are
scene in Fatal Attraction.
What you think the movie's about?
Yes.
Well, because most of these movies
You
are.
literally haven't seen that movie.
I
I'm
have not
so
seen that
surprised.
movie. I
I'm
really have not
surprised
seen
you
that movie.
haven't taken it on yourself as a film connoisseur to have not seen to have watched Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, it's one of those
I've
movies I
I've
need to
watched Fatal
watch.
Attraction for that reason alone. Like, you know what? This is a classic movie. I'm old enough. Let me
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it the king of all those
I feel like it
movies?
does create
I
the
don't know if
standard.
it's the king, yeah, but yeah, like
It
Jason
creates
said,
a standard.
it created that kind of model for okay, this kind of movie. People respond well to. That's just an interesting
Yeah,
concept.
because I mean, it's kind of like it's Fatal Attraction, kind of like Basic Instinct. I mean, it's got that
Yeah.
vibe,
Which I
that
haven't seen.
energy.
I haven't watched Basic
What?
Instinct either.
No,
I fast forward
How in
through
the
it.
fuck?
oh, you've only seen the bad
You
parts.
gotta watch
Yeah,
It's
that.
actually,
yeah.
honestly,
Nah,
like
bro, you gotta
I've
watch
been
that
meaning to watch
as
the
a
whole thing.
honestly, like even if you take out the sex scenes, Basic
Right.
Instinct is
Just
actually
take
a really,
just watch
really
it
good
as
movie.
a movie.
Yeah, I've been wanting to. Every time I have it on my queue or my list, it goes away like immediately.
Would you say
So
Basic Instinct, Jason, kind of set the table for like body chemistry, is that kind of
Yeah.
shit? You
I
know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
honestly, I
It set the
see
whole
why you have
table
to
for
be an
that
adult
shit.
to watch it. 'Cause
Yeah, because
so you
of the
actually
right.
get the story of it. Because
Right,
it's like,
the
if you're a
subject
kid,
matter.
you ain't gonna pay no attention to it.
Right.
right. Because I rented it when I was a teenager. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
sex.
it's not
That's
for
all I wanted to see.
teenagers. It's definitely not for teenagers.
Yeah, if you go back and watch them movies as adults, they're actually
actually
very
good.
I'm talking about Eyes Wide
Entertaining.
Shut. Any of that type of shit is kind of based
I still need to
off
watch
the
Eyes Wide Shut.
standard. You
Yeah,
haven't watched Eyes Wide. What the fuck is happening right now?
All the movies
This
that you
episode's
rented,
become Josh hasn't seen.
all the movies. No,
Sex
Josh seen
movies,
all the
Josh
sex
hasn't
movies.
seen.
The thing is, Josh seen all the sex scenes in these movies.
Just Basic Instinct. I haven't seen just Basic Instinct. I've seen the sex scenes, but I have not watched Basic Instinct at all. I have
Okay.
not watched Eyes Wide Shut at all. It's on my list. It's on my
Yeah.
list right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just haven't
Alright.
watched it.
But just as a genre, I think it does well. It's like a sub genre, I guess you would call that, because it's a thriller. It falls under the thriller category, but then there's like lust and adultery
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff involved in it that leads to the thriller.
Right.
Mm.
And so, like those two things combined, people like sex and scandal and thriller like murder, who done it or
Yeah,
who about to
whodunit.
get killed
Yeah,
next kind
yep.
of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so these kind of movies just combine all that together. And if it's done well, it's like you have a really good psychological thriller that's really well written, well put together. And the sex just happens to weave in the story because it's a part of
Right.
the
Right,
story.
yeah.
And it's
You know what I'm
at
saying?
the end of the day,
Like-
it like the 80s and 90s
80s
sex
was
scenes
just
aren't
horny.
that. But
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying
were.
their sex scenes aren't that bad in comparison
What, to the 90s?
to
In comparison to now.
yeah.
They might as well be straight out fucking on the damn camera now.
Some of the stuff they show now is like
Right.
yeah. So those sex scenes aren't even that big a deal.
Right.
I mean, when we watched Body Chemistry, I definitely glad we watched it as adults to appreciate it because it literally had like what, one sex scene, I think, maybe two.
Yeah, but it had a really interesting story.
Yeah.
You know, it was captivating as a story. You know
Well,
what I
have you
mean?
seen Indecent Proposal, Josh?
Yes,
Okay.
I saw
Now,
that.
okay, that may be the one. That may be the one. Have I seen Indecent Proposal? Who's
Is
in that?
Diesel? Is that the one with
Demi Moore?
and Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
so I have not watched the Indecent Proposal.
That's the
'Cause
one
that's
where
the
he,
one
like,
where he-
pays $1
Yeah, it's like I
million
want to pay
be
to
with
have
your
sex with your wife. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that one is.
That's pretty interesting.
Then what's the one? There's another Demi Moore movie that's like that, but
It
with
is an
Michael
appropriately
with
named
Michael
movie, if
Douglas.
That's the plot.
What's the
Indecent.
one with?
It's
What's the
very
one with?
Indecent Proposal.
Yes.
Ugh.
Very appropriate.
what is the Demi Moore Michael Douglas movie called?
That's
there's
the
a lot of movies.
That's the basic.
Ain't it?
Wait,
Ain't that
who,
Basic-
wait, who's in Basic Instinct? Ain't that them?
No, Basic
No,
Instinct
no,
is
Basic.
Sharon Stone and Michael
Oh.
Douglas.
Okay, yeah.
The one with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas is the one where the woman is like hitting on him, and he
Yeah.
refuses her, and then she's kind of crazy. Like I think she's his boss
Oh,
or something
dude,
like that.
you never seen Fatal Attraction,
Yeah, I never seen Fatal
dude?
because that's with Glenn
Watch
Close,
that.
ain't it?
Watch that fucking movie, yo.
All right, that's my assignment. I will
That's
watch.
the first one. You need to watch that one first.
Yeah. So I can. Yeah. So that one is
Because
It's like-
that sets the bar for
for all those type of movies.
right. All
Just
those
like
kind of movies
Psycho
like that.
set it up for slasher movies and Superman set it up for superhero movies. He'll be back. He has it. Oh, he probably had to. Yeah, we had this problem the other day.
Mm.
You want to keep recording or wait till you
Yeah.
just edit this part out?
We actually are live, so
Oh, are we live on Facebook?
yep.
Oh, okay. There he is.
Did we lose that?
No, we got it recorded.
Okay.
But we're
Yeah,
live
I don't
on
know
Facebook.
what happened.
It's fine. So you just keep popping back in or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
So Jason,
Yeah.
what we talking about this time?
The worst segue.
I just knew you were going to say it. Jason.
Josh is going for the worst
Dot, dot,
segue,
dot,
worst podcast segue.
So Jason,
2023.
what are we talking about this time? We talking about Megan. The
Megan
movie-
Fox
a
Why?
whole episode dedicated to Megan Fox.
to Megan Good.
It's Megan Good. Yeah,
Megan Good.
that's
we can
what I
talk
like.
about. We can definitely talk about all the things Megan Good's in. So that would be a good podcast. But no,
So
the,
Megan Good, if you're
thriller-
listening.
Yeah. Yes.
The thriller Megan, the killer robot toy.
Killer robot movie toy action suspense comedy.
Yeah.
It was funny, but yeah, we talking about that. Me and Marcus actually went together to the movie theater.
Model 3 generation
Android.
what is this thing? Android
Model
3.
3 generation Android nigga.
Wow, that's not the end.
Well, Android is the AN.
Yeah, I guess, and yeah, so Android, yeah.
Model
Yeah.
3 genetically engineered Megan. No.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, let me introduce myself. I am Josh, aka Prop Josh, and I am joined by Smiley, aka Jason, and 730,
And the
aka
genetically
Marcus.
modified version of Marcus.
What
I'm
would
the
MA
bioengineered version of Marcus.
what would the MARQ stand for?
Model android, regenerative, quantitative, uniquely educated serial.
Specimen.
Yeah, specimen. Yeah, that's it. Don't ask me to repeat that.
Well, it's
But
recorded, so-
I'm actually the fifth version
Fifth version.
of Marcus that you all have spoken to on this podcast.
Okay, great. Well,
I'm
welcome.
actually I'm like the 42nd version that you guys have
Hey.
known
40
in your lives. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not actually growing. It's actually like a new like model
Yeah.
made to look a little bit different.
Slightly changing every
Yeah.
second.
Really adaptative. That's where the adaptative comes from.
Oh,
So let's jump into this thing.
Mhm.
Spoiler warning. So, usually we do bad movie reviews, but I changed it. I called it fun movie review because I was like, this movie doesn't.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's bad, but it's not
it's
bad.
entertaining. It's
yeah,
entertaining.
it's good to it's entertaining to
that's
watch.
why I put
kinda-
fun.
It's kind
That's
of
why I put fun.
predictable, kinda, but it's interesting.
No, it's
So,
definitely predictable. I mean,
It's
everything that
hella
happened.
predictable. Yeah,
Well,
I knew
Marcus, you
everything was going
called
to
it.
happen.
You called it at the very
I
beginning.
called like everything.
It's like this is the things that's going to happen throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
It's a weird thing to describe because it's like, yeah, it's bad, but that's why I said it's fun. I think it's just
it
a
it
fun
was a
movie.
lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
Before we get into the movie itself, can we talk about that theater that we went to?
yeah. Because Marcus went to the North Park Theater for the first time in like what 20 years,
like 20 something years.
Yeah,
And
Friday night.
previously I had been going to a whole different North Park theater.
Yeah, they renovated it since then.
And so
Wait, like, didn't we
the
watch?
the one in Dallas that me and Josh went to a couple times is also the mall is called North Park.
Hmm.
And there's a theater in there. But
Okay.
it's like an AMC. So
Didn't we watch The
um,
Ring in that movie? Did we watch The Ring together in that
back
movie?
then in the
Yeah,
in the
Probably North
theater,
Park.
Park.
It seems like North Park, but it's
I think we
definitely
did.
a
I think
different.
that's probably one of the last movies we saw out there.
I thought I
during that
took a
time.
girl to see The Ring.
No, I think we all saw it.
I do remember watching it together.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
and I do remember watching it at North Park Mall. So that
Okay.
was that was
Yeah,
20 years ago.
The freaking North Park, because I was kind of like, I was disappointed that I had to go.
Yeah,
I
'cause
wanted
we-
to go to Tinseltown.
The Tinseltown Theater was
Yeah,
it was only one playing,
and it
for
was
that,
packed.
and it was Friday
Yeah.
night, and so
Yeah,
Of
so
course.
everybody goes to the movies in Mississippi on Friday
ain't
night,
nothing else to do.
and so
It's also teenagers.
right, it's teenagers.
So glad I don't work at the theater no more. That was
Yeah,
my
Definitely
life.
should be glad.
That was
Nothing
my
but
life.
Teenagers. I was like, oh my god.
I used to chase teenagers out of theaters when
Yeah,
back in the day.
I bet you. I bet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go to North Park, and I'm like, oh man. And the reason I'm like, oh man, is I know that I've been to both. I've been to Tinseltown, and I feel like Tinseltown is a bit nicer theater. And so I was like, man, I ain't been to North Park in so long, man. Ain't no telling. They probably ain't renovated that thing. Nothing.
You said, do they at least
Like,
have stadium
Yeah, I was
seating?
like, do they have stadium seats?
That's
Because
what
I thought,
you asked.
because Jason, I need to correct myself though,
Okay.
because I was thinking about Metro Center Theater. You remember
Oh,
that theater?
wow.
Where it was just like
Yeah,
flat, like
yeah.
seating.
Yeah.
That thing's been
North
destroyed.
Park,
Clinton
North
did
Park
the same
did
thing.
have the sloped
Yeah,
kind of, so I meant to correct myself.
Okay.
But anyway, we go to the theater. It's renovated because Jason was like, "It's a nice, newly renovated theater."
That's what I
And I'm
said.
like, yeah. And I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." So we go, and it's really nice. And they got like drinks in there. I'm
That's
like,
the whole
okay,
bar,
I see you
you know?
over here. Well, this bar, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So, we go get our seats, and they got the recliner seats and whatever. I finally figured out how to do the seat recline thing, and the seats are more spaced out because the seats are bigger, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, this is cool. I can do this because I'm also getting back used to
Actually being
getting
around
out
people.
and being around folks and stuff like
Yeah.
this.
I forgot
And
about
so
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot of comfort levels that I'm dealing
Mhm.
with. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyway, we go. The only thing I got, so it's a nice theater. That's what I
Yeah.
got to say.
Yeah.
But my only complaint, that bitch is expensive because
Mm.
I went and got this popcorn. Small popcorn. It was like $8.
Small popcorn.
Small popcorn.
Small popcorn's $8.
A small popcorn. And so, and then I was like, we up in here. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? YOLO, man. I'm about to go
Get
get
you
a
a
drink.
drink.
About to go and get a drink. But I missed a pretty good part doing
You
that. I knew
missed
I was risking it. I missed the
amazing
dance
part.
The dance part, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I feel like also I had seen that part so many times on the
On the trailer.
commercial. So it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
so I went and got the drink, and I ordered a what they call a Manhattan, which is supposed to be like an old fashioned,
They called it a
which is
Manhattan.
yeah, they call it Manhattan, but it's got similar ingredients to like just about the same ingredients to it. But she just kept pouring like more and more like liquor in there. I'm like,
trying to
damn,
get you thrown.
she tried to get me thrown off this one drink. So I
Welcome
got
to
back
North
to my
Park.
seat. Yeah, I got back to my seat. And the drink, I'm not even gonna say how much the drink was. It was
There's a lot of liquor.
it was ridiculous. But I get back to my seat. I'm like, there is no way I'm gonna be able to finish this drink and drive home.
Wow.
Because I tried to down it. Because
Oh my
I'm
goodness,
like,
that's
okay,
worse.
we're
Don't do
halfway
that.
through the movie. We're halfway through, so
Yeah.
I gotta go ahead and down this because it's expensive.
You
But
don't want
it's
to
like
waste.
it was so strong. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, man, like I got a choice to make here.
Oh man.
Oh man, but yeah, that was my experience at so thanks North Park.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's
Y'all
still
need to
it's
ease up on them prices though.
it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks a lot better in there.
That's
There's
good.
still
Makes-
some
Still
hood
same
ass
old. It's still same
behavior.
old people.
updated. It's
All I
updated
saw
hood,
was
huh?
phones lit up in the
Aw,
theater,
man.
phones ringing.
Dude, let me
Taking
tell you.
pictures and stuff.
Let me tell
I'm
you.
like,
I
what
was
you
watching
Yeah, taking
Megan.
flash pictures inside.
Of course they did.
What are you doing?
So I'm watching Megan last night. I went and watched it for the second time, and this is old guy and his daughter, well, granddaughter, in the theater, and his phone rings. This dude answers the phone in the theater.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, man, I'm in the movie.
He's an older man.
He
No,
was like,
yeah, he was like, "Yeah,
"Hey,
we're
what
watching
you
this movie.
doing?"
Oh, you want to talk to her right now? She's right here next to me." And I'm like,
No, he
I
didn't.
almost turned around, looked at him like,
You did
"Really?
that for real.
We ain't." Yeah.
You should have did that because it's like, okay, you can be
Because
rude. I can be
but-
rude too.
But I also did notice they didn't have the disclaimer at the beginning of this movie like any other theater. Like, yeah, please cut off your
Cell phone like
cell
ringers
phones
and stuff.
and all that
You know
shit
what? They
like
didn't
that.
say that.
They didn't have one of those.
Well, that
Yeah.
grandpa and his granddaughter end up leaving when Megan started killing, like toward the end.
Oh.
And she's like, "Yeah, they is like, oh, we
Couldn't
can't
deal
handle
with
this,"
it.
because the little girl was handling it for most of the
How old
movie
was the
until
kid?
What did they think was gonna happen?
I guess it was
Just
just like
a
a
doll movie.
Yeah, I guess that's what it looked
Cute
like.
little
'Cause-
doll
yeah,
toy.
because
It's just a
she's all
creepy
enjoying
ass
herself.
doll movie.
I
Let's
guess
go see it.
like an adult Toy Story. I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
I guess.
Oh my goodness.
So let's talk about this movie.
So we're gonna spoil it. We're gonna walk through it and spoil it, just in case you're wondering if you wanted to watch it by now.
Yeah, it's been
Let's
out for
talk
like
about it.
almost a month now. So
Has it been that long?
I said almost, maybe like
Okay.
3 weeks.
All
3
right.
weeks.
'Cause you watched it when it first came out.
Yeah, I did. That's why I watched it again. I went ahead and watched it again because I can get it for free, watch it for free or whatever.
That's
So
cool.
it starts off with that commercial.
Oh no.
I guess we'll wait till he pops in again.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot of editing for this episode, huh?
Yeah.
All right, there he is. All right. So we start off with that commercial with these creature things.
Furbies,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
Furby
basically
looking things.
Furbies.
Oh, and the name of the company is called Funky.
which is
Yeah,
hilarious,
like
Right.
Funko mixed
but
I,
it
with
sounds like
Furby. Mm,
funky.
yeah,
yeah, it's funky.
yeah.
Um, because it's like have a pet that yeah, it starts off with like the dog, the girl hugging the dog, and then the dog is dead and she's at his grave. He said, "You want a pet that can
Oh
outlive
wow.
you?"
I forgot. That's exactly what
Yeah,
happens.
that's how I think that set the tone of the movie. I was like, okay,
Right.
this is gonna be fun.
Because we were already laughing by then, Jason.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And if you feed it too much, it poops, which is a real
Yeah.
thing. That
They have a
there's
toy like that.
they got several toys like
Oh
that. They
goodness.
got like some
I think
unicorn
that's
looking
good though.
creatures.
I think that's good
Accuracy.
to have that. Yeah, they should have toys like that because, like, not to get off subject, but like you know how people have like the dolls that you can burp them and feed them and they wet
Yeah.
themselves and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I think that's realistic because that's the human. You know that gets you prepared for life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, like if you
Well,
decide to actually have kids one day, then you know
Gotta
the
do
kids
all that.
poop.
if you
and you
remember
know why, and then
Tamagotchis,
it's you're familiar with your own body. You know what I'm
if
saying?
you remember
Yes.
Tamagotchis, they pooped and you had to clean up their poop and
Yeah,
stuff.
folks bringing Tamagotchi back.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
toys need to poop more.
Yeah.
And it
Poop
can't
more toys.
and that toy came with like an app or something like that. So you can watch on YouTube and Instagram or whatever. It was like compatible with Wi-Fi, that
Yeah,
type of
because
thing.
you can
Cool.
update it through the app and you can feed it through the app and all that stuff.
Yeah. But
That's cool.
apparently that toy was too expensive. Like that was a
Sounds
thing about
expensive.
yeah, it was like shoot, I don't know, man. Sound like it was $100 for those things. That's what
Well,
it sound like.
that's not that expensive for a robot.
Well, a little mini robot thing. I mean, those Furbies were not that expensive, Jason. I don't think they were. I think Furbies were like $20, maybe 30,
Okay.
not 100.
But now they're expensive.
Maybe. But so then you have the parents in the car with the little girl, which we all knew was about to happen. They're driving through
Yeah.
the snow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all arguing, and he's driving completely irresponsibly.
Yeah.
I know. I
And
was
then he
like,
lied about the car being a 4-wheel drive.
right.
Yeah.
Well, he said he didn't know, and it was like it's like that. Jason's like that Josh Journal episode where they're naming all the things that's about to happen before he goes into the video game. Like we should have been arguing during this thunderstorm,
yeah, I
and we
remember
taught this
that.
magical cricket. That's what it felt like. Like in this car, like it's just so obviously about to die. Like, oh, be careful with the car. Oh, it's slippery. Oh, it's snowing. Oh,
Yep.
oh, hey, put your seatbelts on. I'm like, goodness, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you don't even need Final Destination to say y'all about to die.
Right. It was so obvious. You just waiting on it to happen. And then, like somebody, when it happened, somebody was like jumped because they were surprised.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even that surprising because of course the dude didn't pull over. I was like, why do you pull over?
He's in
like,
the middle of the road.
middle road.
It's
So we'll just
snowing.
look for a snow truck. We'll look for a snow truck, and then a snow truck comes right in front of them, right there, and
Yeah.
kills them.
So yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
I think Window and Wild did it better.
I hadn't
If you
seen that one.
oh wow.
Yeah,
I did hear
forgot
about the fact
how they
that the
did
parents
with
were-
Window and Wild.
Yeah,
Window
I heard-
Wild, the parents drove off a cliff and landed in the water.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And then she got out. Some kind
Yeah,
of-
yeah. They made sure that she lived and stuff. So that's apparently that's a cliche thing. No, you have the parents die in a car accident when the kid will live. That's all because the
Mhm.
kid's in the back seat. That's always the case.
Mm.
Mhm.
So the little girl, her name is Katie, and so she has to stay with her aunt Gemma. I wonder what Gemma stands for. It seems like it's it's like a short for something.
I don't know.
Mhm.
So and Gemma is she's the sister of her mom, and she works at that toy company Funky
Mhm.
that created all those Furby creature things, and
Right.
they're working on Megan.
She and the actress playing her is what's her name?
I
The
think it's
actress
Allison.
from Get Out.
Yeah, she's from Get Out. Allison Williams, I think her name
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, she's from Get Out.
And it's cool to see her
She's the girlfriend.
as the opposite
Yeah.
character. Like she's like the what is it, the protagonist or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool that since I was talking to Siobhan about this, that it was like when she was first getting the working on the project, and then it like blew up in her face, literally. And the boss was like, you know, start over, get back to the original program or whatever. And I was like, she should be fired. That was what I was thinking in my mind. But realizing that she's the one that created all of the technology.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
they
more.
have to keep her around.
they have no choice but to keep her around.
Yeah, because I was thinking that too. Because I was like, I think that's a movie cliche where they were like, "You just or you're fired." It's like, no, she's very valuable to that company.
She's essential.
But they could, yeah. It's like she's the only one. The problem that the company has is that she's got all the ideas, and she's the only person with the technical know-how to do it. Like they can't even pull a Steve Jobs on her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know how Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. Like, yeah,
Right.
you're the idea guy, but we got all these engineers, all this money. We can make this shit happen without you at this point. But
right. But
that
her
company
main-
wasn't like that.
but her main problem is that she's spending too much money. That's probably why
Yeah,
I'm
She's
like, they
trying,
could.
which, I mean, you could, demote somebody, but like when you got that much kind of pull into the system of like creating the information, they need you. So it's like, your value is worth more than however much you spending.
Yeah.
so and
because
it's like
I
a
did notice,
multi-million dollar, I'm probably $1 billion organization. Toy companies make money.
that's true. I did notice. So like when she takes her niece in and she misses a whole week of work and she's like still trying to get back to work, she's not worried about getting fired. She's worried about getting sued. That's what she says to her coworker. Like they could sue us. So that
that's
makes
true.
more sense, I guess.
Right.
Shit,
that makes
because
sense.
she confident she ain't gonna get fired.
Yeah, I mean they'd be stupid to
should.
fire her.
Right. But she should have had more time off after her sister died.
Right, that's what they were pointing out.
It's like,
it was
come
only a
on now.
week. It was a week when she had,
She
when
lost
she
her
went
whole
back to
sister
work.
and got to take care of her whole niece. Like, give her some time.
That's a whole life life-changing event.
Yes,
Did
a
she
couple
Is
of
that
want-
what they call that?
I was-
Life-changing event?
Right, but I got the feeling that did she want to take care of her niece? Because it
No,
seemed
I
like
mean,
it
I'm
was kind
sure
of
she-
thrown on her.
Yeah,
'Cause she
I
coulda
mean,
had
it's
the-
She probably was the godmama, but probably like in name. When your kid is like what 8, 9, you're not expecting to
right.
have
You're not
to take care
expected
of.
to actually have to take on
Like,
that role.
it's
Like,
Right,
you sign up
yeah.
and be like,
The
oh
odds
yeah, I'll
of
be
both parents dying,
right.
and you're the one. Like that's not something that
That's not
because I'm
something
like,
that happens.
I don't
know.
anticipate that. I'm a godfather, a couple of kids. I don't anticipate,
Right.
that happening. Don't want that to happen. You don't want
Right.
that to happen. But you gotta do what you gotta do because like with that situation, she was like, because even when the therapist lady came in, which was just so judgy. It's like play with this toy. It's like the ball's not supposed to be rolled. It's supposed to be doing what? Just let her do it. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Just roll it to her.
It's like seriously. But even when she was like, do you want to raise this kid? It's like, well, like I need, like, this is what my sister wanted. Like my sister wanted me to raise her. So
And
I want to honor her.
Right there. The answer, do you want to raise this kid, is no.
That was her answer.
But that's at the same time, like I can understand that being the answer. Just like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
you can't expect, like, I gotta put my entire life on pause unexpectedly to take on care of this kid that I barely know, that I didn't expect to even have to take care of. Do I want to raise this kid? Not really. But I guess I got to.
I gotta do what I gotta
because
do.
This is what I signed up for.
Yeah.
My sister would want me to, so therefore I am. But if it's my choice, I wouldn't be in the situation.
Yeah. And wanting to honor her sister wishes,
You
and
know,
not send
and
her
the
to her.
therapist was just putting her under all this pressure. It's like, whoa, bitch, this is
Yeah,
just
no.
as
You need to
traumatic
make
for
sure-
me.
Right. I
too.
lost my whole sister.
You know.
Every time I look at this
And
child,
now I
see
gotta
my
readjust
sister.
my
I'm
whole
like-
life. Right.
Right, yeah. She was used to
So-
living by herself and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
now I gotta be a
Right.
parent.
She
I
had
gotta
a
be a guardian.
whole established thing on
Right.
her own. Now she gotta,
I like that little Katie tried to play with the toys, and
Yeah,
she was
that
like,
was
"Those are
funny.
collectibles."
That was funny.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that made me nervous too.
Yeah, it's like, don't touch those. And when
I
she
think I
opened,
leaned over at Jason.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be me.
when she opened one of those collectibles, it kind of
Yeah.
like I shocked. I was like, oh, that. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
If you're a part of our generation, you understand.
Right.
Certain
Toys aren't
things-
toys anymore. They're
Certain things
yeah.
are for
Kids-
decoration.
Which
That's
makes
what
me
made
wonder
me
how it
nervous
feels. It makes me wonder how
about-
it feels to be a kid nowadays. You know,
Right.
like you go to somebody's house who clearly got a lot of toys. It's like, no, you don't touch any
Yeah.
of those. You can't play with those.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to. I'm gonna have to put these up when my niece and nephew come through because they're gonna want to play with this shit. I'm
Well,
like,
yeah,
oh,
you see the Spider-Man behind me. It looked like it should be
Yeah.
played
All of
with.
us- All
I'm
of us
putting
have
this shit
toys
up.
in the background.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be played with.
No, they're just for posing and
Just to
sitting
be
there on the
looked at.
shelf. You just look at them. Yeah, every now and then you move them, and then you look at them.
Oh,
Every now and then you just move it a little bit
slightly.
and then leave it alone.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, because then she introduced Katie to Bruce, that big machine she made in college,
That was
which
pretty
I
cool.
was
What,
like,
what did I tell you, Jason?
First second.
Such a
First
setup.
second.
I said, oh,
Everybody
that's
knew
the
that.
robot that's gonna save them at some point in the movie from Meg.
so obviously a
Immediately.
setup.
Because that thing
This will
was
come
so
in
dope.
handy later.
That
Yeah.
design was so dope. I love those gloves.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is so rock'em sock'em robot.
kinda-
It
it-
ain't
it-
even funny.
It gave me that Rock'em Sock'em. What was the Hugh Jackman movie?
Hugh Jackman,
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
And it
Real
also
Steel.
It also gave me Iron Man vibes, like a first
Mhm.
Iron Man project.
Oh yeah,
thing,
yeah, that's exactly.
Iron Maiden's
Yeah, so
project.
that was
like,
cool.
the
I'm like,
early
y'all
on.
better do something with that shit.
Yeah.
That shit was cool.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But
I also love the fact that she was, just a brilliant woman creator, like techie
Mhm.
person and they didn't make a big deal about the fact that she was a woman. Like I love
Right.
that.
oh, I didn't even realize that.
Me and
Yeah,
Siobhan
that's-
talked about that. It was like, and you're a woman. Like they didn't throw that at your face, like
Like, you're brilliant.
for a
And
woman.
you're a
For
woman.
you know, like they didn't say any of that. They just let it be, and I love that. Like I was
That
like,
makes sense. That's cool.
That is good because she was brilliant. She really was.
I think
And a
this
woman.
movie. I think this movie was written by a black woman though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Okay, Jason.
Delayed reaction.
You said a black woman wrote it.
Yes, that's what I heard. So look that up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that's really cool.
So then we finally get introduced to Megan. I think like what 30 minutes into the movie now?
Yeah.
Well, they
'cause
show
I'm
her at the
like,
very beginning with the
Yeah,
creepy
they
smile.
do. They do. Yeah, that creepy, and she still keeps that creepy smile.
mhm.
Because I think Megan is actually in real life like a really is like a robot in real life. Like I know it was like several different when they put it together. Like when I listened to Allison Williams be interviewed, and she mentioned how it was like a bunch of people
Like
that
it's
put
based
Megan
off
together.
a real thing.
Yeah. So it's an actual robot they
Oh,
interact
you
with.
mean like for the film?
Yes.
It's an actual robot.
Yes, it's an actual robot.
Maybe in
They-
some shots in the
Yeah.
far
I
off
mean, they do
shots,
have a
that's
real
totally a
little girl or
little
something.
girl.
Yeah,
or
they
yeah.
have
some
an
kinda-
actress that plays
yeah.
her.
Yeah, exactly. But the close-up stuff, like that's the
Yeah,
real.
the close up. Yeah, you could tell it's a really sophisticated animatronic. And I read somewhere that you can actually have sex with that one.
I mean, there's a scene where the cop was like, "Oh, is that a little girl?" I was like, "No, it's a toy."
Yeah,
Like,
oh, yeah,
really?
it's one of those
The way
sex
he was
toys.
looking, I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, don't go there."
Well, yeah, we could talk about that bully because he was very rapey.
Because they look right.
Maybe
Maybe he was literally on top of her.
I know,
taking
but he
off
was
her
slapping her.
clothes.
Because they kind of look like that robot that was on Good Boy.
Oh yeah,
Good
yeah, Good
Boys.
Boys. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That was actually a sex doll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
that little kid was very
They
rapey.
based
well,
Megan off of all that shit.
that makes sense. She probably yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that rapey kid soon, Jason. I didn't think he was rapey, but the audience did react like
I
he
I thought
was.
he
So
was totally rapey.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it because that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
okay. Her revenge.
Well, yeah, yeah. What
Okay.
happens to him, all that
All right.
stuff. So, Katie meets Megan in that little demonstration room, and they show the boss David and stuff because he's like, "What is this going on?" And
That's
he's
the first time they meet. It's
yeah,
in
that's
the
the official first
demonstration.
time they see.
Okay,
Yeah, they
yeah, that
meet, and
makes
she
sense.
does that little drawing for her, and
That was pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's kind of
sophisticated
cheesy.
ass drawing.
I thought
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I thought it was cheesy because I was like, "Oh, you're gonna waste the water," and then suddenly it's this beautiful portrait.
Yeah, she's drawing on the paper, and it's
That was
like
pretty cool.
it looks like nothing on the paper at first, and then like
Oops.
she's
drinks
like,
a
"Well,
glass.
what's in?" Then she says, "Oops." Megan says, "Oops," and drops a glass of water, conveniently placed glass of water next on the paper, and then it turns out it's like a water invisible watercolor drawing that's way more detailed and sophisticated than you would imagine her to have just drawn in like
In like 2
5
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
right, with some highlighters or whatever.
Right.
Yes.
Which, that's how awesome she is.
Uh, and so Katie and Megan become friends,
Yeah.
and they have a montage of them being
Being
friends.
friends.
Best
and
friends
stuff.
forever.
It was hella cool. Megan was like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
want to hang out?" Like,
Yeah.
sure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, then
So-
they
Very
go hang out.
responsive, really
Yeah.
interactive, really,
So
really
I-
appropriate.
I thought about this a little bit. I was like, so being a kid, because what Katie says is like, if I had a toy like Bruce, I wouldn't want any more toys ever again. So that's what gave Gemma the idea of making Megan like, oh, let's make her so good that even though she will be expensive, this would be like this the only toy they really need. So it's like you're building a friend. And I thought about it. I was like, what if Marcus was a robot for me when I was a kid?
Marcus was a robot for you.
Right, like
Oh my goodness.
I told
Or
you,
vice
I'm
versa.
the 40-second version.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to keep
Right.
upgrading them and stuff. And the first
my
model was when he was a
goodness.
kid, so that's when
Yep.
we were friends. He was a little robot for me to play with.
Yep.
Because that was like her friend and stuff, and they were playing together and stuff.
And they already went through that montage where like it showed how Megan also is very responsible.
Yeah, because she
Right.
kept telling her to flush the
Use the
toilet
Flush
and
the
stuff.
toilet, wash your
Wash your
hands.
hands.
And she'll
Yeah.
stand right outside the bathroom, which was creepy. Be like, yeah, hey, did you seriously wash your hands? Like real patient with her and stuff.
Right. I thought Megan was pretty cool. Like for real.
Megan was hella cool.
Yeah, I'm for real. I was like, yeah, this is actually a good invention. Too bad it was switched to evil. You remember
It's
that
kind of
episode?
like it's got like bits of AI in there too, like having the android child get used to your house and your household rules.
That was a
and-
movie. Artificial
Yeah.
Intelligence. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Also, so there's this Twilight Zone episode that kind of spawned it all off. It was I forgot what the name of it, but it's about a little doll, and the little girl has a little doll, but the father, I think he was a stepfather in that episode.
Mm.
The doll, you pull a string and it says something like "Little Mary loves you," and then but when the father pulled the string, the doll's like, "Little Mary is going to kill you." It
Oh.
is like it was like it's a really good Twilight Zone episode.
It's like
the fifth
one of the
season.
old school episodes.
Yeah, in
Okay.
black and white. I strongly suggest watching it because this was predates Chucky, all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Set the
This is when
standard.
it first, that set the
Yeah,
standard.
the old school Twilight Zone is where it's at.
Like that episode walked so Megan can run.
And boy, can Megan run.
So we're gonna talk about the dog.
Yes, that killer
Oh,
dog.
man, yo, we were laughing so hard on that part. By the time she started calling the dog.
So they have an arrow that falls in the yard, and then like they try to get that arrow, and the dog bites at Megan, and is all she. That's when she gets extra dummy.
Yeah, the dog locked onto Megan and was like shaking that bitch.
Right.
And then that's not the part that pissed Megan off though.
Right. She didn't care about
Because
that.
Megan don't
Yeah.
got no feelings. She don't care about that.
Yeah, but the
The
dog
part that pissed her off is the
Katie.
dog bit Katie. Yeah.
Yeah,
It bit her bad too.
right. Which I don't blame her for
Right.
getting
And then
upset
Megan
or
was
Gemma.
just looking at her like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kill you.
Now, the funny thing was that Gemma felt the same way because Gemma
Yeah.
kept
Gemma
telling the
couldn't
cop.
stand that fucking dog.
Right. So
No.
Gemma kept telling the cop, "Is there a way to put that dog down?"
She was
Right.
That
She
dog needs
kept
to be-
telling
like,
the
she
neighbor.
was-
She
Yeah,
told the
like, you
neighbor
need to put the
several
dog
times
down,
already,
yeah.
like, put this fucking dog on a leash. You letting your dog just run out here, and the dog is all up in my yard and stuff.
And that was
Because
from
I've
beginning.
had a neighbor like that before, and it's
Yeah.
like,
do
yo,
everything.
bruh, keep your dog in the fence or put that bitch on a.
I had a
motherfucking
neighbor that had a
leash.
dog like that too. There was a dog that
And
kept getting in
so-
my yard too.
Yeah, and so the neighbors, oh, it's not gonna hurt any. He's supposed to have a collar and keep him from doing that. Like, no,
That's what
you
the lady
as his
said,
owner
yeah.
needs to keep an eye on that motherfucker.
Right.
Keep a leash on that motherfucker.
Yep.
And then so by that time, Megan was looking at the dog like, I'm gonna kill you. And then the camera panned over to Gemma, and she was looking at the dog like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
That dog was, we already knew.
Had-
As soon as
that
I saw
dog
that
had no
dog, I
hope.
said, "Oh, you are not going
No
to survive
hope.
this movie."
Yeah.
And
Marcus
so-
called as soon as he saw both of them. He
As
was
soon
like,
as I saw the
she
dog,
gonna
I'm like,
die, he gonna die.
I'm like, that neighbor's gonna die.
Yeah,
that dog
it's
is gonna
obvious.
die.
It's obvious. And it tripped me out when Megan calls for the dog. Dewey,
Man,
Dewey.
that
She sounds
had-
just like the lady.
That was good.
but the whole audience was laughing at that part.
I'm like, yeah, we know what's gonna happen.
The whole audience was laughing. Like, man, I
Yeah.
can't wait for her to kill
Yep.
this dog.
Yeah, she did.
And then the very next day, the neighbor is calling for the dog when the dog is
Same
gone.
voice.
It's same
But
exact.
when they
way.
grab when Megan grabbed the dog, it was like they just showed the dog was looking through the fence. Then it just came out of nowhere.
Oh,
that
goodness.
was funny.
One of my
That was
favorite
so good.
lines. One of my favorite lines when they were the cop was questioning where the dog was. And she's like, "Well, she should have kept the dog. It probably ran away or whatever." And the lady was like, "Well, ask that other girl that lives there that stares out at the window at 1:00 in the morning."
That's funny. Why do you know
I must
this?
not laugh.
Nosy neighbors also staring out the window.
So obviously she's an evil doll.
Mhm.
That doll that stares out the window at 1 in the morning.
They pan and they show you staring. Her staring. She did not care. She was there.
Yeah,
She
that shit was
stared.
funny.
So then you had the second presentation, which is where
After she's all sick,
Yeah.
and she was like, lay down, get some rest, and make her go anyway.
right, yeah, she does do that. It's like make
She
sure you
kinda
get a lot of rest
manipulated
and dress a lot and drink a lot of fluids. But a lot of people flew out to see
That
this.
was
So
like guilt trip.
yeah, that was
Wait,
definitely
who
guilt
did
trip.
that? Gemma did that.
yeah.
Gemma did that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like, my job is on the line here. So, but, no pressure. But, and of course, Katie is like crying
She's a human
immediately.
being. So she's lost her parents. She hadn't really had time to mourn. And she's on,
Right.
so she really haven't.
Because I
And
think you
so-
said that at that point in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so that's what happened. She's supposed to do this presentation thing, and then she just busts out crying.
Yeah.
Right.
She's a kid,
Yeah, she's still a
during
little
the
kid.
presentation. Yeah.
Right.
which was gold for the
Which
presentation.
was right. Because it allowed Megan to kick in. Megan kicked in and showed so much compassion and empathy for her. And
Yeah, when that
everything,
part
and
happened, I was
Her and
like,
everything.
when that part happened, I said, dang it, Megan is not the villain of this movie.
and then what she did, that was some Apple shit. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Apple
Oh.
Apple is going to cater. Apple is going to pull at your emotions
Yeah.
to have you emotionally tied to, uh, their inventions and
Mhm.
convincing you that you need them in your life
To
because
help you to
look at how it's enriched your life.
Yeah.
It's how it's enriched your
To help
emotions.
you to pass all the things that you're troubling, because it's like,
Right.
okay, this troubled child lost her parents. What can
Right.
else, like, how can you get comforted from that? That's so
Right.
much. Well,
Thank God for
Megan.
this AI, Megan,
Thank
to
Megan
come
for
and
this Megan.
Right. She really showed compassion
But
to
by the
Katie
time she
too.
started singing, man, me and
Oh
Jason
man, the whole
died
video, the
laughing.
whole theater, the whole theater. Me and Andy were laughing. Everybody around us, we were like,
It's
"Come
so
on,
funny.
man!" I think
It
Andy
was
whispered to
so
me, "It's like,
funny.
why is this suddenly a Disney movie?"
That was Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
That's
yeah, I
what that
remember Teddy
was.
Ruxpin.
Your
Yeah,
friend is all I want to be.
yeah.
And he was
I've
singing like
never had a
after.
Teddy Ruxpin before.
I
Did
never.
you?
I don't think I had one,
Just
but
the
a friend of
commercials.
mine had one, or maybe I did have one. I remember seeing it
I remember seeing it too because
when
like you
I
put a
was
cassette
young.
tape inside him, right?
Oh.
And the mouth moves and the eyes blink, and at the end of the tape, he sings you the song, the Teddy Ruxpin, "Your Friend
You put
Is
a
All
whole
I Want to
cassette.
Be" song.
Yeah, I think you put a
Yeah,
whole
you
cassette
flip
tape
it
in
and
there.
it goes with a book, and they basically read you the book.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a whole cassette player.
That
yeah,
was the '80s for you.
yeah,
That was actually a pretty smart idea. Put a cassette player in
yeah,
a teddy bear.
yeah. It was dope.
Yeah, they don't do
It
nothing
was
like
a
that
dope
now, do
invention.
they?
I
I guess it
mean,
would
I
have to
think they
be.
do. It's just like it's just more sophisticated. I think they just look
Yeah, you would need
and
like a
present
Wi-Fi
themselves
and
differently.
stuff.
well, they got the Build-A-Bear thing where you can record stuff ahead of
That's
time.
true. That's true. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Build-A-Bear's always been able to do that for 20
But I
years,
feel like
but
they might. I don't know. I haven't built one in a while, so I feel like they should be able to upgrade it where you can just wirelessly transfer it or use a
maybe.
USB card or something like that to upload more
Oh,
information.
USB card. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying. So, if
Go
you're
work for
listening,
Funky.
you know
So
what I do want though? I want one of them robot dogs.
the Amazon robot dogs.
Whatever that shit is, look like a dog. Is a robotic looking dog thing, and the ears do
Deliver your
like that,
food.
and they deliver your food.
I don't know which one you talking about.
I don't know.
you talk.
It's a robotic dog or it's an animatronic looking dog, or one of them things that go around and like sweep up your floor, like
Oh
sucks up the
yeah,
dirt off
Oh,
the
yeah,
floor
robotic
yeah,
vacuum.
yeah,
thing. I
yeah. I
need
like
one of
those
them
things.
things now.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to
Robot
have one of
vacuums are
those.
awesome.
I
got
need
one.
one of them.
Yeah, maybe I should get
The
one.
last folks in this house had one.
Mm.
And
Oh,
I want one for this damn cat litter, man.
same. I got cat litter all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Katie tries this new school. Gemma sends Katie to
Oh
this.
yeah, now we're talking.
We, because
Yeah.
Katie apparently was homeschooled the whole time,
Her
and
parents homeschooled her. Yeah,
yeah, her parents homeschooled her, and of course Gemma wouldn't have time to homeschool her. So I guess Megan's been homeschooling her. I guess that's what's been
pretty
happening.
much. Yeah. So she feel
But
like she got to
Gemma
put her
feels
in
like,
school.
yeah,
And
she
she
feels like
felt
she
like I
needs to
learned so
interact
much
with
from
people and
Megan
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah, but she's like, you need to interact with people.
Human beings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some
So
human beings you don't need to interact with.
very true. Sometimes I wonder, would I be a better person if I didn't interact with people?
Yeah. I mean, I was homeschooled for a couple
I know
years, but I
you were
interact with
homeschooled, and
people.
between me, you, and Siobhan, you were the nice one. Me and
That's
Siobhan,
funny.
we were like,
But he's
During
also
middle
the
school
youngest,
years.
though.
And I was
He's
hanging out. I mean, I
also-
was hanging out with y'all while I was
Mhm.
homeschooled. Like, what, aren't you supposed to be doing stuff? I'm all hanging out with y'all just all the time. You had, because that was when you had your house. I was over there more often than not.
Mhm.
well, yeah, should be at a 19-year-old's house. Nobody should trust a 13-year-old at a
13-year-old
19-year-old's
and
house.
19-year-old.
Not at all. No, definitely not.
I didn't
is
do anything
absolutely
inappropriate though.
I know. I'm just saying. Me at 19, anybody at 19. That's just.
You
anyway.
shouldn't have your own house at 19.
You definitely should not have your own house at 19.
No.
I strongly agree, but I was 19 with my own house, and I would say
Right.
now 19-year-olds should not have their own house anyway. So they're at that outside school where we meet. I forgot the bully's name.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
Kid look like he's about
Asshole Jones.
right.
Exactly.
Look like he's about 18 years old. And like why
And
why
they
this big
pointed that
kid?
out too. They were like, "Why does he look so old?" It's like, well, he just
That's a,
needs the attention. He just
got a
needs this
5 o'clock
space.
shadow and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. He was on home from work, calling his mama by his first name, cussing her out.
right? Yeah, I remember.
Shut the f up.
No, he's like,
Susan.
"Fuck off, Molly! Fuck off, Molly!" I'm like,
Yeah.
With his
and she's
deep
like, "Okay,
voice.
okay." I'm like, "Oh my
Kids,
gosh!"
never
Okay,
know what
oh,
kids are gonna
kids these
say.
days.
You never
Right.
know what they're gonna say next.
So they did this because I was like, I think I told Siobhan this. I said, usually I feel bad when they kill off a kid in a movie.
Wow.
I said, but they did this where I was like, I kind of
I'm
deserved
like,
it.
get that motherfucker.
So first of all, Megan, Katie did not want to leave. She did not want to go. She didn't want to leave Megan because they were like, we gotta take Megan. So she was like, they compromised and made Megan stay. And what's the name stayed as well. Gemma stayed as well. So they're all there on this camp park place. And one kid doesn't want to go with the other, want to go with the bully kid. So he
right, because he already
put
knew.
me with somebody else. And he's like, okay,
right, I can't be with this kid.
So they have a better idea. Put this grown teenage kid with this little girl. That makes sense. That's
Right.
a good idea. Let them go alone in the woods. That's appropriate. If that was the first day of school, that would be the last day. Absolutely. They didn't put no. So they go out into the woods. Megan's sitting on a shelf looking creepy. And
yeah, they had Megan sitting up on the shelf with all the other toys.
Yeah, they pulled that ET scene. They did that.
Yeah.
When she's all with the stuffed animals.
And
there's a lot of stuffed animals.
All realistic looking.
Yeah, just looking. And so
Katie picks up this weird thorn looking thing. I don't know what that was.
They're looking for chestnuts. That's
that was a chestnut.
Oh, that was a chestnut?
Yeah, they're looking to they're scavenging for chestnuts for some strange reason alone in the woods. That's their job.
Right. So
that's a school lesson.
Yep, exactly. I know. No supervision. So the bully makes Katie pick it up and squeezes her hand to it where she hurts herself and stuff. And then of course she cries out, and then Megan appears but doesn't say anything. And
he's
like,
taunting her. He's doing a lot of things. He's just being a bully.
Of course, he's a bully. Yeah, exactly. He's an asshole.
And Megan shows up in the shadow.
That was his name. I see it on the IMDb. That's that character's name.
Was bully?
Asshole.
Pretty much.
Ashton Holian.
Ashton Holian? Wow. Ashton Holian.
But just call me asshole for short.
Pretty much.
Ashton Holian.
That is hilarious.
So anywho, Megan appears, but she doesn't say nothing. He's like, "What? Make her talk. Make her talk." And she's like, "She's only bonded to me or whatever. She won't play nobody else." And so he grabs Megan and run off.
Ashton Holston.
Ashton Holian. I don't think that's it.
That's horrible.
And so
he kind of looks like an Ashton.
Yes, he does look like an asshole. So he throws Megan on the ground and starts having sex with her. Apparently.
Yeah, he's so it's like he has this sinister mindset, trying to grab everything from her, like taking off her shoes or something like that. Like he's doing stuff.
Yeah, he slaps her and took her shoes off and stuff like that because the audience was definitely reacting. Yeah, the audience was definitely reacting like, oh. Yeah, they were. Yeah, as soon as he got on top of her, they were reacting and that's the way slapping her. And
he looked like he was about to have his way with her.
Maybe that's why Megan, when she grabbed his ear, and he clearly has a fake ear on, she grabs his ear and pulls it really badly, and she said,
"Because a human ear wouldn't even stretch like that.
No, definitely not. It was clearly a fake ear, obviously." Right. But she said, "You're a bad boy, and bad boy grow up to be bad men." I think that's why that line was there. I was like, "Oh, he's going to be a rapey man when he gets older." That's basically that way. You won't feel bad for him when he gets killed.
Yep.
Like, he deserved it. And as an audience member, I was like, "Yeah, he deserved it."
So he gets up and starts running, and then Megan starts like jungle chasing him
Like a wild animal.
like a jungle cat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was fun.
They start playing these African drums and stuff in the
That's true.
background.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And then he tripped and fell over a stick or something like that, and like tripped and rolled all the way down a hill into a highway. Yeah, in the middle of the street, and then a car was coming. He got ran over.
Yep.
Right.
All you saw is his feet or his shoes.
And the audience like, oh,
Yeah, I was that audience that said
I was kind of laughing. I was like,
I was laughing at that point.
Yeah, I was laughing too.
Oh my goodness, poor child. So
Poor child, he was an asshole.
Megan didn't kill him. Technically,
no, he just died.
Yeah.
Good
and she
point.
didn't push him either. She just
That's
Yeah,
true.
she didn't
That is
push
very
him.
true.
He
She
just
you know,
he just she
it was an
defending
accident. It
herself,
was an accident.
and he ran away. And
She just scared him over a cliff.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Which they shouldn't have had kids over there anyway. So it's the fault of the people that planned that event.
Right.
They didn't show the kid's mother after that. I wonder how she was afterwards. It'd be funny. She was like, "Oh, thank God."
That's horrible.
I'm free.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Because she was being bullied by her son.
Yeah.
Why would you be sad about that? Like, oh
I
no, I
mean,
miss
you know.
my at-home bully.
Yeah. Yeah.
My demon spawn.
He should
Nobody
have
felt
been
bad for that kid.
better.
Nobody was
Poor
like,
Poor child. But yeah. Ashton deserved it.
He's in the same boat as that kid from Cobra Kai. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
which one?
The little shit.
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony. See? You knew who I was talking about. Anthony and Ashton hanging out to find out they were brothers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Anthony was a bully like that. That's true.
Yeah,
Don't
Anthony was a
forget about
bully,
that.
but he was redeemed, quote
Whatever.
unquote.
No,
But anyway.
he wasn't redeemed.
No, he wasn't.
As I said, quote unquote.
No
Anyway.
Hashtag fuck Anthony.
Oh man.
Hashtag still fuck Anthony.
Wow.
So then skip ahead. The neighbor's still looking for her dog. And of course she's accusing Gemma for
And
killing her
she's
dog.
calling, yeah, that's when she's calling that and it sounds like when Megan was calling the dog earlier.
No, that was earlier, right when the dog died, because it was
okay.
like the very next day. So
Oh yeah, okay.
because of course that night, because that's the part where when she says like ask that little girl to been looking staring out the window all evilly. That was during that part when the cop was like
Yeah.
looking in. I was like, what is that? Like, that's a toy? That was that part. It made me feel uncomfortable when he said that.
Oh.
So
That get
it's technically not illegal.
You think I could have one?
You think I could take a look at your
that?
toy?
They said that she cost about $10,000.
Yeah.
So
I mean, shoot. I think she cost more than that. I think it was $100K
that's how much
to
she
put
was
her
costing
to put together
But yeah, I think that they were going to retail her for 100. I mean for 10K.
for 10K.
Yeah, for 10K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They
That
will
was
only
gonna
have to
be the
make like
retail
5. Yeah. Oh, I see. Because she was supposed to be like a car. That's what they compared her to, a car.
Right. That's what he said. It costs less than a Tesla.
The Tesla, yeah. That makes sense. So Megan goes and kills the neighbor lady, which
Why?
she was in the way.
Yeah, I don't remember why she had
Yeah.
to kill the neighbor lady.
I think she was just.
I
don't
knew
know,
she
maybe-
was gonna die.
Right.
But
Right, yeah.
I didn't know why, like what the
Well, she got a
direct
little
motive
taste.
was to kill her.
She got a little taste of
If
murder.
she already
That's
killed
why I
the
was
dog.
figured, 'cause
right,
I
that's
was
what it
like-
was. Like
That's
you
why
know,
I figured too.
like
It was
murder.
like murder is good. Well, one thing I noticed, if you notice Megan's victims, they get bigger and bigger. They get bigger and bigger, and they don't deserve it as much as she kills more and
Yeah,
more.
the
It's like
dog was
the
like,
dog and the
okay,
bully
got
Oh, they
deserved it.
get bigger and more innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the,
so
the pet owner wasn't. I mean, she was just a nosy neighbor. She wasn't. She
no,
just
she wasn't
wasn't
evil.
hurting
No.
anybody.
She actually wasn't a bad person.
She just wanted.
She
just
was
was
wanted
like
her
just
a
dog.
typical
irresponsible.
neighbor anywhere USA.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And she was irresponsible. That was mainly
She should
her
have been
thing.
more responsible for her dog, but it was her dog. That was the only friend that she ever had in her life. So she was like,
Yeah, when you first see the neighbor, it seemed like Gemma's more of the asshole between the two when she was like
Yeah. The
when they
way she talked
interact.
to her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
that's why I
hi,
was like,
Gemma. Fuck off, neighbor.
pretty
Might as
much.
well have been what she said.
that's basically what she said. Yeah.
And then like this cop was there asking Gemma questions after the neighbor is dead, and it was pointed out that this is the second time she had to make a report, and the guy was like, I kind of laughed. He said, "Yeah, you was when that kid died or whatever. Yeah, they found his ear way over there. And he was laughing. He's like, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I was like, wow.
Oh, he said that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
did.
forgot
Yeah,
about
he
that
did
part.
say that.
Probably because that kid deserved it anyway.
Basically.
Yeah, I know that kid is an asshole.
Ashton. Yeah.
Ashton Holian. Everyone knows Ashton Holian.
Nobody likes the Holians.
The Holians.
They're just the worst family in the neighborhood. Nobody likes them.
Oh,
This
man.
buttress Holian.
Buttress. That's the mother's name. Her
Buttress Holian. Cornelia, his dad Cornelius Holian.
Oh my goodness. You guys are good.
He has a brother Dylan Holian.
And there's also Richard Holian.
Ugh.
Jason, make these into shirts.
No.
It's a whole family. Assholes.
Wow.
Dill holes. Cornhole. Butthole.
All right.
Oh boy.
So Gemma confronts Megan because she figured it out. Like,
Yeah,
wait a
she's-
minute.
man, she know. She made
Megan's
her.
killing people.
Killing people.
Yeah. And Katie kind of asks us, like, did you push that kid? Because she's like, no, I didn't push him.
She didn't push him. She was
Mhm.
telling the truth.
So, but yeah, she kind of suspected. But yeah, so when she figured out what she did, she was like, oh, this is too much. So she had to cut her off.
Yeah. Now I gotta admit, Gemma is not dumb because a lot of movies.
No, yeah, she's not. She
I
figures
mean,
it out
like-
quickly. And she doesn't
Yeah.
realize she's not ignorant to the fact that this toy could do that. So she doesn't defend
Right.
it.
She figures it out
No,
fast.
she's not like that. She wouldn't do that. I made her to be
Yeah.
better. No, she didn't do that at all.
She,
She's like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
right. She's actually pretty smart. She's like, nope, turn off.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I like about the writing on this movie. What I can appreciate is that
Mm,
the writing has evolved with the audience because the audience is
Yeah.
like, technology has changed. So
Right.
the audience is like, that's a dumb decision to do. So they wrote a little bit around that and made her smart enough to be like, I know it's AI, but that shit can get fucked up. We've seen that plenty of times.
mhm.
So let me
Right.
cut this shit off.
Yeah, fact that she
Gemma
created
actually
her,
does what the audience wants her to do.
and this
Right.
does quickly. She does it really good. So that's
Right.
as soon as she figures it out, she's like, oh no, this is not good. We need to
Right.
do
Yeah,
something
because she
else.
ties her up and bubble
Right.
wraps her and puts it in
Yes.
the trunk. Like, no, we need to take care of this
Yep.
now.
Because I think we laughed at that part too.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Like, nuh-uh. But Katie goes
Oh my
crazy.
Katie.
She's
Yeah,
like
Katie became the villain at that moment.
she really did.
was like-
She's like
she was like
took
a
a
junkie.
drug.
She
Yeah,
was
she was a
like,
druggie.
Just give me 10 minutes.
So we've been calling her Katie.
That's not her name.
Is it Katie?
Her name is Cady, Cady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay. My bad.
it does
Katie.
sound like Katie when you're not seeing it written down. It does sound
Katie.
like Katie, like what it
Oh,
came
okay.
to.
KD.
It's interesting.
So, but yeah, because she like kicks Gemma's seat and everything when it was driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The black
She's-
audience is like, whoa.
I-
At that point, like, whoa.
Now, there's
Right.
a scene I definitely want to know how the audience reacted. So you remember when
Hell
Katie
no.
is throwing her chair and stuff, she's with the therapist going crazy, and then Gemma goes in there and she slaps
And
the
she
shit.
slaps her.
Yeah,
It was
she
that
slaps
same
Gemma.
thing, like, whoo, ooh.
I wish she
Like-
would.
Right.
It's like,
Now,
where's my
I
belt?
couldn't help. I know, right? Because I was like, that
I
part
wanted
is
to give her a
complicated.
butt whooping.
That part is complicated. You can't slap her back.
No,
The
you won't
therapist
slap
is
her.
right there. The therapist is right there. You would get so much bad would happen if you actually slap Katie back.
No, but you can give her a nice butt whooping.
You can't. No, in 2023, you can't do that, especially with a white therapist in the room right there, ready to take her away anyway. so it's that's why I
Yeah,
said it's
it's
kind of
kinda-
different nowadays.
I
You know,
guess.
as a black audience, we're like, oh, slap the shit out of her back, like, but you can't.
Yeah. That's
So
tough.
Gemma actually did the right thing and like sat down and talked to her. Like
Yeah,
I hate to
mean,
say it, but
the
she
thing
had,
is,
that was the good thing
so
to
like
do.
one of
But
the
when they
things
got home, she slapped
my
the
goodness.
shit as soon as they got in the house. Like,
oh my goodness. one thing about this movie that they were like talking about kind of throughout was like the way of, you know, trauma and dealing with it. And so like I think that the therapist mentioned early on before the crazy reaction, she's like, look, you got this doll that's walking with Katie throughout every little moment, and she's still mourning. And like, are you familiar with attachment bonding or whatever, what's the word that she used?
yeah, something like that.
Attachment therapy or attachment something syndrome or something like that, where
I think
once
you
the
said it
person-
right. Yeah, attachment bonding.
and
Some,
so
some
once
shit. Yeah.
once someone comes in contact with the authority figure after a major
A traumatic, life-changing
they'll
event.
kind of bond with that, you know, person. And it's usually the therapist was like, and it should have been you, but now it's Megan. And so
Mhm.
this is something that's serious. Like, you got to really like help her to, and I think that's probably the reason why she was thinking about putting her in school and stuff like that. But like, still, like, there was something about that. So the reaction that she had was absolutely like made sense with how much time she spent with her, all the things that she was doing. Like, this was her answer to life. And when you ripped it out from her, she was like, I can't live anymore, because she never dealt with the loss of her parents. And so
Right.
she's like, you gonna take her away from me? Like, my parents already got taken away from me. You're gonna give me
Right.
one thing that's gonna give me some kind of solace in this weird world, and now you're gonna rip her
Right.
from me. And I think that was
Right.
part of the tension that they were creating with this,
And
which I thought was
that-
really good writing.
Right. It's this story has some decent writing, man.
Yeah, it does. It really
Yeah.
does.
It gets corny on some parts.
Yeah.
But some of the diagnosis of people's characters and stuff is really kind of well
Yeah.
written.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was
the
good.
characters made sense in this movie. They really did. They
Mhm.
weren't cartoonish or nothing like that.
Yeah, they were
actually
consistent.
made sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So so she calms Katie down. And Megan escapes though.
This is
Megan
where
takes
Marcus
over.
leaves. Ghost gets his drink. Did you miss the escape?
I missed the escape and the dance scene.
Okay. So
So
you just saw it last night. Explain it to exactly what happened.
okay, so so Megan intercepts Gemma's call. Like, Gemma called her friend or her friend coworker,
Mhm.
and but
She
what
pretends
happened?
to be her voice. So she just
yeah,
talks to her,
Gemma. Yeah, so Gemma's actually talking to Megan,
but
and
she
the
thinks she's
coworker.
talking to her coworker.
She thinks she's talking to her coworker and
It's like,
stuff.
yeah,
'Cause
get
they're
her
gonna-
ready. You know.
Yeah, because they got the presentation about to happen, and Gemma's like, no, we're not doing this presentation.
Yeah.
Megan is killing people. We can't do that right now, no
Right.
matter what David says.
Mhm.
And
So
so
just
but
shut her
David's
down,
like,
basically, like, you know.
right. So they're trying to shut her down, but Megan's not having that. Because
Megan just interrupted the call, so she's like, "No."
this part right here. Now, this is where the writing gets a little crazy, though. Like, this is where it can possibly be a bad movie, because the whole point of Megan taking over, I am confused by.
Just
because she was
you're
able to.
confused don't mean that it was a bad writing. Ooh.
Well, then you explain it.
Wait, she said what?
Because when Megan basically they can't shut her down at all. She's override everything. I think they did explain it. Maybe they
Yeah,
did
So
kind of
Gemma's
explain it.
friend
Yeah, so
called her, and Megan intercepted that call.
Gemma called her friend as she's leaving the facility, taking Katie home. And so while she's leaving the facility, Gemma calls her friend, the coworker. The coworker
Tess.
doesn't know.
That's what it was. Tess.
Tess.
Yeah,
So
and
Megan,
Tess doesn't pick it up.
Yeah,
Megan picks up
answers the phone through the AI system.
through her AI Wi-Fi system.
Connects to the phone and answers it and responds back with the voice of Tess and says, "Okay, yeah, cool." And that's the end of that. And so they're looking into the two coworkers are looking into their program,
and they figured it out. Yeah,
they were getting ready to shut her down, and they see a line of code that says like there's like a call that was made. And at that point, she's like, "Wait a minute, I didn't make this call." Like they see that kind of call log in Megan's code. It was like, "Wait a minute, that's my phone number." And then like, wait, then everything shuts down, and like, wait, what? And then you see like, what was it, Megan? Like, did she turn on or what? I forget.
Yeah, I think she turned on because Tess told the dude to
shut her.
I guess shut her down manually or something.
She started unplugging. Yeah, she started unplugging everything. And
then right when
everything,
and so she's unplugged, she grabs dude and wraps that metal thing around his neck,
and like
yeah. So he can't breathe. So Tess has to come and untangle him and stuff.
And
and
she
then
chopped the thing down to make sure he didn't suffocate and die.
Yeah. So right when she do that, Megan set off some kind of gas thing, and then it blows up at them. And then Megan's in the hallway, and so that's how Megan escapes. And then while she's walking down the hallway, because David is still trying to, David's going crazy. The boss man, the CEO, David, he's like, money. Right, like, hey, we got to get this going, blah blah blah. Like we got to get the audience and stuff, and he's just being a boss. And then he sees Megan in the hallway. He's like, oh, Megan, and then Megan starts dancing.
Yeah, that was funny.
Out of nowhere. I mean, you saw that on the trailer, so you didn't miss that. Like there's no explanation. She literally just starts dancing. For no reason at all, then she grabs this paper cutter and breaks it in half, and then chases after David. David figures it out immediately that Megan's trying to kill him. Because he doesn't be like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, as soon as she grabbed the paper cutter, he runs.
Yeah.
That's why I said there's no stupid people in this movie.
Yeah, Yep.
He figures it out fast.
And
robot trying to kill me, bye.
And she
yeah, because he gets to the elevator where his assistant is on the elevator. He's like trying to close the door, but David pushes his way through, but then Megan stabs him. That's when the grandpa and the granddaughter leave.
Oh, wow.
They're like, nope.
But you don't really see.
Well, you do see some blood.
Yeah, but
this is the only scene where you see blood.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true.
Because then she grabs the paper.
Well, didn't she just blow up the two scientists?
No, they're not dead.
You just see a flash of light of them, and then the scene cuts away.
Yeah, they just blew the room up, so they didn't really die.
Right, and then you see a little dust on them or whatever at the very end, so to see that they're still alive. But she talks to the assistant and basically tells him that
she knows
you killed David, not me. Yeah. Like she kind of frames him and so you couldn't and you can't live for it. He's like, yeah, I can't live for myself. And she kills him.
Yeah, she was like, you couldn't she kind of narrates his suicide note basically to him. He's like, yeah, you killed David because he found out about you sneaking in all the information, leaking the information, and then you couldn't live with yourself.
He found out. Then you killed him.
He killed David and himself with a paper cutter.
Basically, that's what she said to him.
when
easier ways to kill yourself and other people.
She says you couldn't live with yourself. That's what Josh responded.
Right.
The guy says, "Yes, I could. I could live with myself."
He literally says that.
I can live with myself. And she slices his neck with his hand. She uses his hand to make sure so it looks like he killed himself.
Right. And that's why I noticed the pattern of how Megan killed. Like she killed literally from smallest to tallest. Like each person got bigger and
Ugh,
bigger because that assistant was the
literally.
yeah, exactly. That's yeah, for
funny.
real. That was a weird coincidence. So
That's interesting. Somebody wrote
not
that.
saying he was not saying that he was the most innocent at all. You
He
know,
was stealing information, which they only used that for that moment. I thought they were going to do something else with that.
I did too.
When they
because I thought
like downloaded all the M3gan data to the computer, or whatever.
right. I thought we was gonna see another M3gan at the end,
Yeah,
or something like that.
I
Like,
thought he
oh
was
no, we gotta
selling
go through
stuff.
this again.
But that's the only thing they did it with. They just used it for his suicide note, fake suicide note.
Right,
Which
right.
never
Which
really didn't matter.
I think it was so. I think after watching it twice, it was because so Gemma wouldn't go to jail because when Gemma asked M3gan, "Did you kill?" She was like, "Gosh, I hope not, because we'll both be in trouble." So I think that's
so.
Gemma will go to jail for making a killing robot.
Yeah.
So
because it's her invention.
The movie will. So basically, they think that they would actually think that
dude actually did kill. Yeah.
Is that how they going? That's the story they're gonna tell.
I mean, that's the only people that died. I mean, you still have the
neighbors,
the co-workers,
the neighbor,
one neighbor who died, which they just can't explain. They're just going to leave that as unexplained
too, though. All the pesticides,
chemicals and stuff. Yeah. The only people that died at work was David and his assistant. They're the only ones that died at work. But you do have the two co-workers that blew up, and they know that M3gan did this and that M3gan's killing, but they probably don't want Gemma to go to jail. And they helped build M3gan as well. so
I mean,
to keep them all from going to prison, because they would definitely go to prison because M3gan is not a person. They made a machine that could kill people.
It is her program.
So yeah,
I guess
that's what I'm like. It's a weird situation.
Yeah. I guess that works.
Yeah, they had to explain it.
But
some
M3gan
kind of
hijacks a car and then she drives home. So that's the part you missed, I think, Mark. Right? Did you see her get in the car?
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
She took the
car and drove back to the house
because the people at that conference thing freak out when they see the dead bodies, and M3gan just walks out and gets into the car, and then she meets up with because what's her name, Gemma gets home and she can't talk to her
Alexa device.
Her device, Elsie, I think it was called.
You know what it was, Alexa.
What was her personal one?
Because
it could control the lights and all that stuff. And then of course M3gan and Gemma fight.
I saw that part. That's when I came back.
Right.
So
was she playing?
Did y'all realize what she was trying to do? Yeah, she was playing the piano. Did y'all realize what M3gan was trying to do with Gemma?
No. What was she trying to do?
She wasn't trying to kill her. Because it made me watching the second time realized that. Like, oh, I thought she was trying to kill her, because Gemma even pointed out, like, what you could do, kill me, and then you and Katie live with her grandparents in Florida.
Right.
And she's like, no, what I'm gonna do is paralyze you and basically use you as my puppet. So like she'll still be alive, but she knows how to stick this pin in her enough where she wouldn't be able to control her own functions.
Wow.
Like M3gan will be in charge of her, and then it could be a family or whatever. Because that's what because M3gan, she still
use her as a puppet to do what?
To pose as an adult for their household, basically. So because she knows that M3gan knows for a fact that if Gemma dies, she dies. Like, she will be dismantled. She knows that. So she's smart about this. So she's like, I need you to still be alive, but I want to be in charge of you since you're not going to listen to me, or whatever. Okay. Since you're trying to turn me off and fix me or whatever. And so that's where that whole fight scene happens.
Okay.
And of course,
that's when I came back.
And of course, they used Bruce.
Right.
The big
Bruce
machine
comes in, it's like, told you, who didn't see that?
Who rips
Bruce
M3gan.
got in that ass though.
Bruce rips M3gan in half.
And then in classic fashion, they all turn their backs on M3gan.
Of course, that's what you do in horror movies. Right. Double tap. That's what Zombieland always tell you. You have to double tap every time. And the killer always comes back. Especially a killer robot.
Right.
So
You got to make sure
Yeah, I
that
mean, she
motherfucker
didn't.
is
Yeah,
destroyed.
rip to shreds. Like it's
they
like
rip
not
her
just in
head.
half.
Yeah, they rip her face off, and they destroyed a little program in there. I couldn't
The
help but to
central
think about that
processing unit
episode.
trip.
Jason, I couldn't help but to think about that episode of Simpsons. Where did you see the episode of Simpsons where that crusty doll tried to kill Homer, and that
Mhm.
guy was like, "Oh, this is the problem you had. You had to switch to evil." That's where I thought
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that part.
yeah,
When-
yeah. You had it switched to evil.
I'm like, oh, that was the problem the whole time. It was switched to evil.
Yep, that's all you had to do. Unswitch it to
Just switch
evil.
back to good.
Yeah,
So I thought about that when they got to Megan's core or whatever.
right.
And then that's it. They destroyed Megan. And then
And the end.
the end. I mean, the last shot is the little computer Elsie turning the lights back on and stuff, kind of turn a little bit like, now Elsie could be evil. But
Yeah, no,
of course
that's not
not.
what I got.
I didn't get that, but somebody might get that. So
Okay.
I'm sure somebody did.
yeah. And that was the movie.
Yep. So if you listen to this and you hadn't watched it, yeah, now you don't have to. We told you
Or you just want to
everything
go through it.
about the movie.
Right. We went through the whole movie.
Probably didn't miss anything.
Probably a couple of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
So favorite characters. For me, main character Megan is my favorite character.
Megan's fun.
Megan,
Yeah.
I loved Megan. Megan was a scene stealer. I loved everything about her. Part of me didn't want her to die.
Yeah.
I almost want to say second favorite character was the bully, only
Ugh.
because
Oh
I
my
hated
goodness.
him. Only because I hated him. Because I like to see him die. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
He was
That was your
irritating.
favorite scene?
Yeah, that was my favorite scene. I would say that was definitely my favorite
Was the
scene.
bully's death
Yes,
scene.
yes, the bully's death
Okay.
scene. Because I was like, he
Okay.
got what he deserved. I didn't care about this character like that.
Yeah.
It was like he was only there to be an asshole completely, just to get
Ashton.
killed. So, right, Ashton
Ashton was
Holian
your
was
favorite.
only there to get killed.
Yeah. I think my favorite character was I like David, the boss. I mean, he was funny. And so
That guy's a stand-up comic.
yeah.
Oh, that
So I
was kind
definitely-
of funny when they showed they showed Katie in the little program thing talking about
Mhm.
like doing a little story about how her parents died and Megan made her feel
Mhm.
better. And and then David comes in, what a good story that was. He was all like,
Zoom
and
out.
imagine if you have
Yeah.
imagine Megan being for kids who don't have dead parents. And
He's-
Megan
he
just
was
kind of
funny.
looks at him.
He's funny. He is funny, but I do like.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, Megan was a crowd stealer. I mean, every moment that she was on the screen was hilarious
Yeah.
and intense because the way she responded and reacted, and the voice acting and the body acting was great. Like the whole
Mhm.
like the actresses that did that did their part, and of
Mhm.
course the animatronics. Whenever I don't know which parts were that, but overall,
That shows good animatronics. If you can't tell the difference, that's good animatronics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like when it actually was a robot and when it
Mhm.
was human. So
Mhm.
that was pretty good. So
yeah, they did a good job with that.
So those are my top.
My favorite character, in movies like this, I have to exclude the main character because it's kind of a given. But my favorite character, otherwise, is Gemma, actually, because she was actually fucking smart.
Yeah,
It's cool to see this actress in a role as a protagonist.
Mhm.
Like she was a well-rounded, kind of smart character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was not a big deal made, that she was a woman or anything like
Right.
that. It's just she was pretty dope, and she picked up and she took ownership. Was like, look, I didn't mean to make a killer robot, but the bitch is killing folks, so we gotta stop this right now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
we
she
gotta
turned out.
stop this now. Like,
She
I'm
turned
not
out.
she wasn't in denial at any moment
Mhm. That's good.
about making a mistake. Like, so it
Owned up to it.
steered away from the typical behavior of somebody like that in a movie like this. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
usually making way
defending
worse
yeah,
decisions.
they could have
Mhm.
like she could have defended the robot and be like, no, it's not her.
Right.
No, this wasn't
Right.
her, and all that stuff.
Right.
That was
And it
not the
would have
case.
killed more people, and she would still
Right.
be in denial. Like, no,
Uh-huh.
no.
Right.
It would kill the therapist and the cop, all that stuff if she was
But we
dumb.
have
Right.
to do this. We have to save the
It would kill the
technology.
co-workers. It would kill a lot more people.
Yeah.
We have to save the technology. This is a once in a lifetime type
Right.
technology.
Yeah. If this was any other kind of movie.
Yeah. She's like, shut the thing down, kill it.
Now, yeah, she wrapped that thing up quick. Like, nope.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Jim was good. She was good.
So ratings. I'll go first. I definitely want to rate this a replay. This was a replay
Well, you
for me.
watched it twice.
Yeah,
In the
you
theater.
Well,
watched
yeah,
it
yeah,
twice.
yeah. Obviously,
in
the theater. Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought about it, but after I watched it the first time, I was like, yeah, I think I might want to see this again. And honestly, when I went and
Mhm.
watched it, there's some movies where I go watch them again in the theater. I'd be kind of like, I get kind of bored because I know a scene is coming up. It wasn't the case with this movie. This movie
Okay.
was still very, very enjoyable the second watch. Like I
Okay.
still had just as much fun as the first watch.
Yeah, I guess when I watched it, I enjoyed watching it with Marcus, so that was cool. So that made me enjoy it more. having another human being. But no,
You mean
I was
Android?
yes,
Ugh.
the 42nd.
Yep.
Marcus. But no, yeah, I would say a high replay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it. Some predictable stuff, but it was fun. I'll definitely watch it again. I mean, I ain't gonna go to the theater, but whenever it gets on streaming or whatever, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I give it a replay, high replay. Same thing. I'll watch it again on streaming for sure. When it comes out. It's probably a good Halloween flick. You know what I'm saying? So I'll watch it again around then, maybe.
Yeah.
It's up there with Child's Play mixed with a little bit of artificial intelligence. So,
I like this movie more than the rebooted Child's Play.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it had the very, very,
I don't
very
even
same
have to
plot.
watch Child's Play again, but I'll definitely watch Megan again. Yeah.
Yeah, because this had the same exact plot as the rebooted.
Same exact plot, but
Yeah.
it was done much better.
Donald's watching us live on Facebook, by the way. And he commented and said, "Josh, take a breath." At one point,
Take a breath.
I don't know. You were talking fast.
Oh, okay.
What else to say? We have comments on our live. Tron 3 with horrible actor Jared Leto got the green light. Huh.
Okay.
Tron 3.
Yeah, I heard about Tron 3. Yeah, with Jared Leto. I did hear about that.
Mm.
So that was our ratings. We all said replay. So tell everybody where to follow you guys at.
Follow me at 7:30. Okay. You just Google it. Just put a number 7. Just put EVENTHIRTY. Just Google it. Find it. Different platforms. Most of all, just Google it. You'll see it.
Okay. Smiley Jason _ is me. So Instagram or smileyjason.com on my website. Check me out, see what I'm doing, see what I'm up to. I narrated an opera for the first time last week.
Oh,
Didn't think that I would ever do that. It was never on my bucket list, but
he had to wear a wig.
White wig.
Yeah. It was a black opera, so yeah, it was pro-black.
A black wig.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of black opera is also the name of one of the dopest hip hop duo groups that I know off of Mellow Music. Just a side note, check them out too.
Okay, black opera.
Yeah, black opera. Shout out to Majestic Legend. Yeah.
And you can follow me as Prop Josh on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
So final thoughts.
Don't be real life intelligent, not artificially intelligent. It only gets you pulled in half and dismantled at the end of the day.
And
Because let me tell you, we don't like that shit.
don't be an Ashton.
Yeah. Don't be an Ashton Holio. Don't be an Ashton Holston.
Ashton Julium.
Yeah.
Julium.
Don't be a Dylan Julium. Don't be a Buttress Julium. Don't be a Richard Julium.
Richard.
Julium.
Oh my goodness.
You know.
Good night.
Don't be a Gloria Holy.
Gloria Julium.
Don't do that to yourself.
Wow.
Good night.
Oh my goodness. Wow.